everybody.
Hey!
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Maggie.
We're from Rock Candy Podcast. Kind of like behind the music.
Except unauthorized and drunk. But come along every week and listen to us talk about artists or albums that you may know really well or may have never heard of while we're drinking beers.
Witty things to talk about.
Great hot takes with some hot babes.
That's subjective, but okay. So go find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and wherever you catch your pods.
And with that,
Party on, kids!
Oh, that sounded forced.
Is it not?
Hi there, I'm Lloyd.
And I'm John, and we're from Pint Comics. As we dive into your favorite pop culture topics, we may just
Occasionally,
use language that could be considered...
globaloney.
What? No, I mean...
Oh, foul.
Exactly. Offensive.
No doubt. Crass.
You bet your ass.
Sophisticated.
What? No. Anyways, you get it by now. It's mostly just...
gutter talk.
And one more thing. Watch out for spoilers. Sometimes we drop them like trousers. You've been warned.
Listen in.
So yeah, we're going to get, John should be knocking on the door just any moment now. I know Dan's prepping him in the green room, or should be. And also, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, I'm Loy Sauce. So let's go ahead and get him in here and switch over to the right scene and get my mug out of here. Gentlemen, welcome to Livestream For The Cure.
Nick, what's going on, man?
And that sounds really, really... Okay, I for some reason I thought that sounded like a really weird noise. I don't know what that was. I think that was mine. But yeah, welcome to the live stream for The Cure. It is going absolutely amazingly. You gentlemen are Pint Comics. Please tell us what you're all about.
Lloyd, take it away.
Take it away. Well, together we host Pint Comics, Connecticut-based podcast. We talk about a lot of things: movies, music, local events, even comic books sometimes.
Once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. A lot of times we invite people on to bring us a movie, and we'll talk about it. We'll chat about that for an hour, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, he says that because we recently did the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he wasn't a fan of that. Lloyd, you're still in the green room. You got to knock out of the green room.
No, he just left the wrong channel.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll vamp for a minute or two. So we're Connecticut based, and we talk comics. Pint Comics, worst title ever. It was decided on early, but we ended up doing a lot of different things other than comics. So we love talking about movies. And our last episode last week was our episode 188, and we talked about our top 6 through 10 sports films. And tonight we are going to continue with our 5 through 1. So it's kind of a sequel episode to our last episode.
I love it. I'm here for it. Make sure you guys go check out Pint Comics. And I know, Dan, if you guys hit !guest over in the chat, that'll actually get you more information, take you right to their website. So please make sure you subscribe to their show as well. So I will let you. I guess we're still.
We'll give Lloyd a second. Yeah.
We're waiting for Lloyd to get back. Dan, what did you do to him?
He hit the wrong button.
Is my volume a bit low?
You sound good, but
I'm just fine tuning and tweaking things over here on my end. It's not about me. It's about them anyway. You calm down, Drew Hallam. He's
thank you.
fancy. He wants his moonshine.
Thank you, Nick, for having us be a part of this year too. We're very excited.
My pleasure. Maybe if we tweak it about that. All right. So yeah, I mean, Lloyd, where did he go?
Where did he go? Well, you know what? I'll start. We'll give him a minute, I guess. I'll start by recapping my my 10 through 6 favorite sports movies of all time. And again, these are favorites. These aren't best or these are personal favorites. Then when he jumps in, he can recap his, and we'll jump into our top 5. Number 10 the 1993 John Candy Olympic bobsledding movie Cool Runnings, which is just a fun movie and absolutely a good time. Number 9, a very recent Canadian hockey movie starring Sean William Scott, Goon. Very cool movie that recently had a sequel. Number 8, Shake and Bake, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I personally don't really consider NASCAR a sport, but I guess it is a sport, so it is a sports movie. And I do enjoy it quite a bit. Number 7, from 1979, it's a bicycling movie called Breaking Away, starring Dennis Quaid and Jackie Earle Haley. That was a favorite of mine as a kid. All sports movies have the same thing going on. They're all inspirational. Someone's gonna do something they shouldn't have done, and win the day. So that's that. And then we get to that was number 7. So my number 6, little known 1984 film directed by John G. Avildsen called The Karate Kid. Full contact karate is a sport, I guess. It could also be used to kill people. So I enjoy that one quite a bit. Lloyd's still not here yet.
Am I in?
He's here, but his video's not on. Thank you so much, Bill Sutton, with a $25 donation. Said he can't wait to smash that goal this year. There he is. We got him back.
Are we in? All right.
There we
wow,
go.
Technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
It's perfect timing. Perfect timing. John just finished up recapping his 10 through 6.
Go for your 10 through 6. Lloyd.
All right. So, yeah, my 10 through 6. So my 10 was a documentary called Hoop Dreams from 1994, featuring the stories of 2 kids from the Chicago suburbs who had dreams of being NBA stars. Then my number 9 was The Sandlot from 1993. That's the coming of age baseball story, bunch of kids, a lot of cool stuff.
Dan's eye is twitching right now, just hearing The Sandlot.
Number 8 was The Karate Kid, 1984. Pretty sure everybody knows that movie. Number 7 was Slapshot from 1977. A really funny, violent hockey movie starring Paul Newman. And my number 6 was The Longest Yard, the original from 1974, starring Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds sans mustache, which is rare Reynolds.
Sans mustache, right?
You don't get a lot of sans mustache Reynolds. It's like Deliverance and that's about it. All right, Mister, you want to go with your number 5?
All right, so my number 5 top sports movies: The Bad News Bears, original one, 1976. This was a youth baseball story directed by Michael Ritchie, who also did several other sports movies, Semi-Tough, Wildcats, and one of John's favorites, Cool Runnings.
Yep, Cool Runnings.
Yep. He also did Fletch, by the way. Written by Bill Lancaster, who also wrote The Thing and Firestarter by Stephen King, the adaptation of that. Stars Academy Award winner Walter Matthau as Morris Buttermaker, an actual former baseball minor league pitcher, never really broke into the majors. He plays an amazing drunk. This performance. Have you seen this one, John?
Oh yeah. Oh, Bad News Bears. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Bad News Bears. I saw this. I was actually in Little League in the year that this came out, 1976, I think it was.
Did you play for Chico? Did you play for Chico's Bail Bonds?
I did not play for Chico's Bail Bonds, but I played for a team called the Cubs. And after the season, our coach took us out to see this in the movie theater. So this is one that I saw in the theaters, believe it or not. Chico's Bail Bonds, by the way, a real place.
Really? I didn't know that.
A real place, yep.
You know what's interesting about this movie is that in 2006, there was a remake made with Billy Bob Thornton. And the interesting thing is it really sucked. It was garbage.
It's an
absolute
inanimate
garbage.
carbon rock.
Like, I'm not big into remakes or sequels, and I haven't seen, I think they spun 2 sequels. And in a remake and even a series, a CBS series in 1979.
Rubber Baron Sink wants to know if Gleaming the Cube counts as a sports movie. And thank you, Joey DiCarlo of So Wizard, for following.
John, do we have to do it? He said Gleam in the Cube.
Gleam in the Cube.
Gleam in the Cube.
We did an episode on Gleaming the Cube, and you know what? It does count because Tony Hawk is a extreme athlete. So
true. Yeah, that definitely counts. But this Bad News Bears, it's a pretty common theme for sports movies. You know, a bunch of kind of misfits get on a team coached by a drunk.
Yeah.
And they're not good. And Walter Matthau decides to get two ringers, a girl and a boy. So the girl played by Tatum O'Neal, a Academy Award-winning 12-year-old Tatum O'Neal, by the way, and Jackie Earle Haley, who
So
also
Freddy
appeared in one of John's former movies.
Breaking Away, and he's Freddy Krueger. So Freddy Krueger was
And
like
Krueger,
the right fielder for the Bad News Bears. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it follows their season. They actually start winning and gain confidence, become a formidable team, and play the team that they forfeited to in the first inning. What was it, 26 runs with no outs?
Yeah.
And there is
Big
a harrowing scene in this movie. You know what I'm talking about in that inning?
It's been a while.
The pitcher, the little boy pitcher of the other team, he's kind of getting frustrated with what's going on, you know, with sports
You
and
must be
parents and
kidding, aren't
coaches
you?
and the expectations and stuff. And he does not obey the coach, who happens to be his father. And
Oh,
his coach
yeah.
actually comes out on the mound, right, and smacks him around, knocks him down.
Yeah, this movie would not be released in 2021.
No,
There's a lot there's a lot of racial humor. There's a lot of adults hitting kids and little kids saying really terrible things. This would not be out right now.
Yeah, a coach
Thank you
drunk
so
in
much
almost
to
every scene.
The biggest loser for a $100 donation. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Nice
That's
job.
our buddy Lou Federico.
Thanks,
All right.
Lou.
That's your number 5?
That's my number 5. Yep.
All right, we'll roll to my number 5. I'm going to say one name, and half of the audience right now is going to have a tear shed out of their eye, and the other half is going to hate it because this is a very it's one of those movies. But if you have a heart and you're not the Grinch, the tears coming out. Rudy, Daniel Rudiger. Okay,
Rudiger.
Nick just left, but me and Nick have a bond because I discovered earlier today that Nick also hates Avengers Endgame, which I totally hate. Please donate more for hating Avengers Endgame.
If you hate Avengers Endgame, please donate.
Please donate. If you hate Avengers Endgame, you found two brothers. I know 2 years ago, everybody tried to convince you it was good. It is not good. So donate a little bit more. Help cure cancer and the stigma of being someone that didn't think that movie was good, especially after Infinity War, which was great. But Rudy, Sean Astin, Sean Astin is like the what is that, the cicada? Every so many years he comes out and does something big.
Yeah,
so
he does 17 years.
Every 17 years. He does Goonies in 85. He does Rudy, then The Lord of the Rings. He's like cyclical. And think of it this way. If Rudy never happened, we would never get Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn as a team.
Right, that is their first movie together. Or their first movie, both. Yeah.
They met together. They met on that. It truly is. It is saccharine. It is sweet. It's corny to an extent, but in all honesty, it's a true story. It's got a lot of great moments in it. It's very heartfelt. And Sean Astin carries the whole thing on his back. I love that movie. I don't care. Everybody cries at the last scene of the movie when he gets the tackle, right? I call bullshit. I don't cry at that part.
I cried before that.
I cry in the middle when, after multiple times of trying to get into these colleges, nobody will give him a chance, and he gets the letter and he reads it on the bench at his school, and he's just so exasperated and so excited. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful.
You do a little fist pump while you're watching.
You do a total fist pump. I saw that in the theaters. Okay,
absolutely.
I saw it in the theaters, and I remember leaving and just feeling, I felt so good that Rudy made the team.
Yeah,
and that scene where all the other players give their jerseys in as if they're not going to play unless Rudy plays. Beautiful.
Yep. Now, do you know who that was directed and written by?
I don't remember.
So it was directed by David Anspaugh and written by Angelo Pizzo. And for Anspaugh, his directorial debut was Hoosiers.
I've never seen Hoosiers.
And Angelo Pizzo also wrote Hoosiers. So this is their second venture together.
Oh, good. They made I've never seen Hoosiers, but they made a couple of pretty well-known movies.
Yeah. I did see Hoosiers. It's a very good movie.
All right, Manster, what do you got for numero quattro?
Well, my numero quattro might come as a surprise. It is Rudy.
When you said a surprise, I thought you were going to say Star. I was going to have to talk to you about why that's not a sports.
Star Wars. Well, let's see. Maybe I could put in Harry Potter for Quidditch. I don't know.
There you go. Look at that. Nick actually did quit because we were talking.
Yeah,
because
two of us picked Rudy.
I can't.
That's okay. So yeah, so what is
You
it
know,
about Rudy?
It's a tearjerker. It's the same as you. It's that feeling of accomplishment. It's Ned Beatty finally getting to see his son, you know, play in a game. His brother, who pretty much is a dick to him the whole time, coming together, seeing him, cheering him on, stuff like that. It's such a good, inspirational, feel-good movie.
If you want to see a really good Ned Beatty role, I had mentioned Deliverance earlier. Just check that out and be totally surprised. If you've never seen Deliverance and you don't know about the Ned Beatty role, you're gonna be awfully surprised.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you a little story. So Joe Montana, the quarterback for the 49ers, he was on the Dan Patrick show in 2010, and he was on that team with Rudy. And he kind of let out of the bag that it is a movie. So the jersey scene where everybody comes in and hits their jersey, you can't believe everything you see.
You got to assume that these guys that might have a chance to play in the NFL aren't going to give up their chance maybe for for that guy over there.
Yeah.
They might have gone and said, hey, look, coach, put him in, right? Let's do this. But yeah, I'm sure they're not willing to walk off the team for the guy that has just been, practice squad all year.
Yeah. Yep. And he did get carried off by the team. So that's true. But yeah, it's an incredibly inspirational story. The human spirit, you can accomplish what you set your mind to.
Yep. Speaking of the human spirit, you're watching Livestream for the Cure. I'm going to make a call right now. If anybody out there, any Pint Comics fans, or I hate saying fans, listeners, are checking this out right now, and anything, $1, $100, $1,000, $2 million.
Wow.
This is a really good cause. This is year 5. We're kicking it off here. We're the first podcast on. You've got several days of great podcasts. Paul at the Countdown, and So Wizard, and a bunch of our friends, and ODPH. So please, just maybe a little donation if you can. We really appreciate it.
You said great podcast, and then you immediately went to the Countdown. I mean, come on.
I love. Oh yeah, I'm a big Countdown fan. I'm a big Countdown.
The Countdown is great
for Paul. I got a little surprise for Paul.
I can't wait to see that one
when he's on the air. I love Paul.
Excellent. Paul's
fantastic. Probably asleep right now, right?
Yeah.
It's 7 a.m. there. He might be getting up.
All right, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Paul's caused us to have our 2 weirdest recording times, really late at night and really early in the morning.
On a Sunday morning. Yeah.
Sunday morning at like 8:30, we're recording an episode because it was like midnight in Australia.
I love Judge Dredd. That one's for you.
All right.
Right?
So,
all right, John, so what is your number 4?
My number 4, all right? We mentioned him before a couple seconds ago. Double V, Vince Vaughn, right? Sports movie.
Oh.
Think of a sports movie that exists mostly in like elementary schools and and maybe middle schools. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Dodgeball, a true underdog story. It's not only one of the funniest movies of maybe the last 15 or so years. It's a great sports story. The actual sporting scenes are fantastic. The one scene in the movie where they accidentally get their gear mixed up with the S&M people. And they have to wear like the ball chains and the gags and the stuff that Lloyd usually wears on a Friday night.
Usually
that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. Some of the best one-liners. Steve the Pirate. You've got so much going on in this movie. I can't think of her last name. Is it Christine Taylor, Ben Stiller's ex-wife?
Yeah, that's Christine Taylor.
Smoking hot. She's beautiful. Justin Long, I'm always a big Justin Long fan. I love a lot of the stuff he does. And that movie just makes me laugh. I don't think anybody can watch Dodgeball and not get a chuckle out of it.
I have been meaning to rewatch that because I put it on my list of movies to watch for this, and I did not get around to it. I had seen it before, but, anyone knows anything about me, I don't remember anything from it.
No, yeah, we have to. If we watch movies for the podcast, Lloyd has like a 72-hour retention period.
I do.
Yeah, it's like we have to record stat, or he's going to forget this entire thing. I don't know how that's possible.
Huge shout out to Gary Viola, $26.30 donation that came in over at the Cancer Research Institute page. Michelle also said she donated. Michelle, I did not see your donation come through. Did you donate via PayPal or through the Cancer Research Institute site? I'm going to check around and see if I can find it. I didn't mean to cut in there on you, John, but.
Oh, always.
Thank you, Gary and Michelle. Much appreciated.
GI Gary, a good friend and part of the Pint. Thank you so much for donating. We love you. So Dodgeball, a true underdog story. It really is. It's just a classic. It will be remembered in the annals of history and time.
Yes.
And Vince Vaughn, it was in that period of time. Like Vince Vaughn in the last couple of years has done some interesting things, like what was it? Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Oh yeah.
And he's gone like Dragged Across Concrete. He's kind of True Detective season 2, which I never saw, but he played like a bad guy. I heard it stunk. But like this was the period where Vince Vaughn was playing Vince Vaughn for about 10 or 15 years.
Now, what year was this one?
06 or 05 or
Oh, okay.
03 maybe. But in any case, there was like a 10 or 12-year window where Vince Vaughn was just showing up to any movie and just acting like himself.
Yeah.
And like, they'd make $100 million at the box office. And this is indicative of that. And it's just a great movie.
Now, yeah, Swingers is probably my favorite Vince Vaughn movie.
Yeah, Swingers is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. You're so old money, baby.
Yeah. All right, what are we up to, Lloyd?
So my number 3. So this is a movie, like I said, I made a list while researching this. A lot of sports movies I had seen. I had heard of a few that I never saw.
An inanimate carbon
And this one
rod.
falls in that list of movies that I had heard of. I never got around to seeing. I finally put it on. It was on Hulu, I believe. And it was 2011 Warrior.
Can we just go balls deep on this? Because it's my number 3 as well.
3?
So
oh, my God.
Let's just talk about Warrior for about 3 or 4 hours if they'll let us. I don't know if that's possible, but...
Yeah, well, we got so much overlap already. This is the first time. We didn't overlap on the first list, did we? Oh,
no,
Karate
but
Kid.
we're in the top, man. We're in the top.
Yeah, we are in the top.
There's only so much cream that can rise to the top.
So Warrior, 2011, mixed martial arts movie for anyone who might have missed this. Directed by Gavin O'Connor, who also directed The Miracle, The Accountant, and The Way Back. And written by O'Connor, Cliff Dorfman, and Anthony Tambakis.
Dorfman, that's a tough last name.
Yeah, Cliff
that is a tough last
Dorfman.
name. He got his ass kicked in middle school.
Yeah.
Bad.
And these guys didn't have a whole lot of other credits to their name. Nothing major that stood out. Made on a budget of $25 million, and it made back 23 in the box office. So it wasn't a hit, but I don't know how this really escaped me for so many years. Stars Tom Hardy. You know him from The Revenant. He played Mad Max in Mad Max Fury Road. Inception. He played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He played in that awful movie Dunkirk.
Oh, shut up, man. You and Dunkirk.
You stop it right now.
Hey, see, this is why I like Nick without really even knowing him, because we've had this argument. Dunkirk is fantastic, and we'll bring it up again. Paul from the Countdown kind of agreed with you and said he didn't like Dunkirk.
That's
either.
right. But to be honest, I need to give it another chance. That was only one viewing, and I was turned off by it.
I saw it one time.
I will give it another shot. I'll probably love
It's
it.
Nolan's best movie.
I won't go that far, but I will say it's right at the top. It's right up there.
Yeah. So Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton play two brothers. Joel Edgerton, he was in episode 2 and 3 of Star Wars. He played Owen Lars. He's in Smoking Aces, a really good movie that I remember watching. Another Under the Radar, pretty good. The Thing, 2011, and a more recent movie, It Comes at Night.
Yes, great movie.
And then the coup de grace of this movie, not a lot of him, but Nick Nolte as their former, I guess not former alcoholic, but alcoholic father who's making amends. And
it's almost like he's character acting at this, or what's that, method acting?
Yeah,
Nick Nolte picked himself up out of a pile of puke long enough to do this movie.
Well, I have to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
So what stands out to you about this movie?
I love this movie. I love this. I'll tell you a few things that I love about this movie. Joel Edgerton is a great actor, and anytime he's in something, I'm excited about it. Tom Hardy, he's good as Bane in that movie. Whatever. I mean, I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body. The voice or whatever he's doing there. But if you took him in this movie, Warrior, and that body he had in it, and put him as Bane, he would have been 7 times more formidable and scary. He's literally built like an upside down triangle in this thing.
Oh, he's so brutal.
So the story is, if you've never seen it, without really spoiling it, 2 brothers are the product of a divorce. The Joel Edgerton character goes with the mother, who is stable, and he ends up in a stable life as a teacher. But he's a mixed martial artist, kind of like a fun thing. He does it, but he has a family coming. He's got a wife and a kid coming. Tom
I
Hardy
went ahead
on the
and
other.
added that donation in there for you, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle forwarded me the email. I don't know why that didn't pop, and it might have just been a Streamlabs error or something like that. But Michelle officially putting us over the $2,000 mark. We are at
Wow.
$2,058. Thank you so much, Michelle. And yes, that's correct. She
Amazing.
not only earned herself stickers from Drew Hallam, Moonshine for Drew and all that, but Drew Hallam also owes us another shot of moonshine, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you,
Nice.
Michelle.
Nice.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so
Go for a
much.
shot of moonshine.
Thank you, Michelle, so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, so Tom Hardy, he goes off with the Nick Nolte character who's a drunk, and he ends up in the military. He ends up deserting. He also does mixed martial arts, and they essentially haven't seen each other in many years, and they have this really broken relationship. And there's a lot of anger on the Tom Hardy part towards Joel Edgerton. And they end up in the same, through plot machinations, the same mixed martial arts tournament. And guess what? Little minor spoiler, they're in the final fight together. What's going to
Yes,
happen?
of course.
Who knows? I'll tell you another thing this movie did was it introduced me. It was the first thing I can remember seeing the great Frank Grillo in. He plays
Frank Grillo, yeah.
He plays the trainer of the Tom Hardy character, I believe, right?
No,
Yeah,
Edgerton's
Edgerton.
character.
I'm sorry, Edgerton.
Yeah, Nick Nolte is a trainer of Tom Hardy.
Right. And there is a scene approximately 3/4 of the way through this movie. Nick Nolte's character is reading Moby Dick throughout the whole thing. And he's this, he's this drunk who's trying to do the best he can, but he obviously fails all the time. And there's this scene where they go to a hotel casino and he's reading Moby Dick while he's falling off the wagon. And he's having like essentially a drunken breakdown. And I cried everything, right? I'll admit it. I cried everything. This one killed me. And I don't have any personal relationship to that. Like I don't have a drunk dad or anything, but like every once in a while, an actor like Nick Nolte, who, essentially is more known nowadays for his antics off screen, can show you why they're considered so great. Yeah. And this is why Nick Nolte, I think, I could be wrong.
He won a nomination. Well, he didn't win it, but he got a nomination for
He was nominated for an Academy Award. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene with him and Tom Hardy when the sort of roles reverse, and Tom Hardy, he really lays into his dad. His dad is trying to make things better, but Tom Hardy's not buying it. He's like, I don't really care about you at all. I'm just doing this to get to my next step. But at the end of that scene, Nick Nolte's lying in bed on Tom Hardy's lap, and he's like stroking his head like a father would console a son.
Yeah.
That really hit me. I cried during that. I cried way more at the end with the submission part.
Yeah.
Oh, so these guys are on a collision course. Like John said, Tom Hardy's character is a brutal, straightforward, goes for the knockout immediately, and I think gets it 9 times out of 10 in this movie.
In less than a minute every time.
Yeah, right away.
His matches are essentially he comes to the ring, gets in, it starts, he kicks the dude's ass, and then just gets out of the ring.
And then
Mike Tyson.
He's out of there right away.
Yeah,
he's Mike Tyson. He's Jake LaMotta. He's all that just wrapped into one. But Joel Edgerton, he is a scientific fighter. He's not into the brutal thing. He's going to put you in some sort of leg lock or something that's going to make you pass out, and that's how he wins all his fights. Now he's the one that beat Cobra, right? So in this fight, in this movie, the Russian guy, he's like the big guy. They call him. Cobra's coming, whatever. Everybody's really there to see him.
That was Lindsay Amenta, $26.30. Thank you so much
Lynn,
for the donation.
That's my wife.
Yeah. I recognize her. So, and then they're on a collision course, and they both finally meet, they beat all these other rivals that, I wasn't even sure. When I first saw this movie, I thought that they were going to meet before Koba and they were going to resolve their thing there. And then the winner was going to go there, but no.
You got to have the emotional catharsis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the end,
well, let's leave the end. Let's leave the end out there, man.
Okay, leave it out there. Yeah,
I think this is one of those movies. Like if we talk about Karate Kid, if we say that Daniel crane kicks Johnny and nobody knows, well, that's their fault, not ours. But something like Warrior, which maybe some people that are watching or listening to this don't know about, they can go and check this out. Like I really think they should. And like I mentioned before, if you do enjoy us talking and you want to check out Pint of Comics, if you go to our newest episode, which came out at the end of last week, you could hear as we counted down in the beginning, our top 10 through 6. So you can get a full picture of what's going on here.
Yep, definitely.
All right. So was that your turn or mine? Because
that was my number 3.
And then
so then it was your number 3. So now we're to my number 2.
Right, because we gangbanged that one together. So
wow,
now, yeah,
we sure did. That's going by quick. All right, so my number 2 is a movie that I know you've never seen, so there's no help coming from you here. 2004 Disney movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Miracle.
Yep.
So Miracle is the story of the 1980 men's Winter Olympic hockey team. Now, I don't know about you. I know you were born. You might have been watching the Olympics, but do you remember this game?
I was 4 years old, dude. No.
4 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember the game. I remember the feeling. I remember the Cold War. I remember what it felt like thinking maybe the Russians were going to bomb you and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that.
This kind of just took everything, to a whole nother level and gave a sense of, pride and patriotism and all that kind of stuff in the country. And it was amazing. So this was directed by Gavin O'Connor, who we just said, same guy that directed Warrior, written by Eric Guggenheim.
Guggenheim?
Yep. He's worked in the current Hawaii Five-0 and Magnum PI series. And Mike Rich.
I just want to bring up Hawaii Five-0, current, that's
have you ever seen it?
I watched a couple of the first season. The thing that's amazing is that's been on for like 12 years now.
No,
for 12,
the new Hawaii Five-0?
It's still on, dude. It's crazy. Anything that ends up on CBS and people watch will last for 35 fucking years if people let it. There's like a New Orleans NCIS that's been on for 16 years. Nobody I know has ever seen an episode, but it's been on there.
I've only seen the first NCIS. And then, so, it's the team. It was coached by Herb Brooks. Unfortunately, he died before he got to see this movie, but that's played by Kurt Russell. So let's see, 2004, Kurt Russell. When did Death Proof come out? 2007?
The same year, 2004. Oh no, 2007. You're right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the same realm, and these two characters and the way they look, both totally different. Anyway, so it leads up to the Miracle on Ice. I'm sure everybody out there, whether they were around for it or not, has heard of the Miracle on Ice. The men's hockey team beat the Soviet Union, I guess is what you call them, and then went on to beat Finland and won the gold medal, and it was incredible. But this movie, this is, to me, it's a work of art. I really, really love this movie. It is also considered one of the most accurate depictions of a real life. Money.
We got money.
You got Robert Barron's Inc. $50 donation. We're now over $2,100.
Thank you, Robert Barron's.
That Pint of Comics shirt right there, designed by Robert Barron's Inc. Thank you so much. I'm sure that might be Sal, but whoever it is, we love you.
Thank you. Yes. Where was I?
Talking about how great this movie is.
Yeah, so
man.
So he basically, this is one of those stories, kind of like I don't know, Bad News Bears, not so much.
Well,
He's
essentially
putting together a team of players. And like one of the quotes from the movie is, "I'm not looking for the best players, I'm looking for the right players." And he comes in with a totally unorthodox method of training. And like there's a scene where these guys, they play, I think it's Norway, in an exhibition game. And he didn't like what he saw. So he had the guys stay extra at the end of the game and skate what they call Herbies. They skate all the way across the ice, they stop, they skate back. Hockey, skating drill. But these things are brutal. And we're talking after a game, and they went well into the night, beyond the point of, they shut down all the power in there until they finally, in the movie anyway, as Captain Mike Eruzione finally said, "I'm Mike Eruzione and I play for the Americans, or I play for the United States." And that's just the thing that he wanted to hear. It's just such a moment, watching it. You get verklempt.
Verklempt.
Just seeing stuff like that.
And,
we get verklempt a lot.
Yeah, I get it for Clemson. I'm getting older, so all my emotions are off. But and this famously took place at Lake Placid, right? Lake Placid, New York.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, right? I mean, in all honesty, if people don't know what we're talking about, what if you're thinking along the same lines as me? Pardon me. What is the signature catchphrase that people would attribute this to?
The signature catchphrase, spoken by Al Michaels, sportscaster. Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah. If you've ever heard that replayed at any sports event, if you've ever seen a clip of a sports event and they say that, that is from the Americans defeating the Russians in the 80 Winter Olympics. Yeah. You know what? I can tell you right now why this is one I've never seen before, because I could look at the story.
Yeah.
And I can look at everything and go, I'm going to spend like half the movie crying. Like I still have never seen Toy Story 3 because I've heard it will mentally devastate me. And I have the Blu-ray. I bought the Blu-ray when it came out. That's like a 12-year-old movie. It sits on my rack over here. And every time I think about watching it, I think, do I feel like having a total fucking emotional breakdown? And I never feel like having a total emotional breakdown. So I've just never watched Toy Story 3.
Or Miracle.
So there's some movies I kind of stay away from. All
right.
right. So that was your what? Number 2?
Number 2.
All right. My number 2, 1989, directed by a guy named David S. Ward. Okay. There are a couple sequels, but none of them amounted to the original. This is obviously it's my number 2 favorite sports movie. There could be an argument for it moving into number 1 if the number 1 wasn't the current number 1, because number 1 is so strong. It's Major League. Okay. This is easily the greatest baseball movie ever made. And it does something that what I love about this movie is it straddles the line. Okay, so dodgeball, right? You're taking a very niche sport, okay? Sport, it's kind of a childhood game. And you're making a movie about the competition, but it's mostly comedy. Yeah. Major League is about a Major League Baseball team, the Cleveland Indians.
A real team.
It has a real feeling of gravitas when it comes to the actual games and everything. But there's this incredible level of humor in it, right? And, if you look at the cast, okay, so...
Well, if you got Bob Uecker,
Bob Uecker, right? Bob Uecker as Harry Doyle, I think his name was.
Yeah.
He's the announcer. For the and think about Cleveland, right, for a second, because this is 1989. This is 30 plus years ago, but Cleveland still has that stigma of being this, like, especially for sports, this kind of like woe is me city, right? Like the Browns have never really done anything. Oh, here we go.
We have not Bamp checking in with a $25 donation. We're fast approaching 2,200, guys. Fast approaching 2,200. You guys are crushing it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's our buddy Stu.
Stu, thank you for donating and checking us out, man. We love you.
Thanks, Stu.
Yeah, so Cleveland has this woe is me attitude, and they rightfully do. Remember when LeBron James left and the city like shut down?
Yeah, they did.
They're tired of getting beaten down, and this is a movie that takes the team, and the premise is that the owner is trying to tank the team by bringing on like just the worst players that they could find, the worst players ever, to tank the season so she could sell the team easily and move or relocate the team. The actors in it, right? So you have this weird combo of, like, first of all, James Gammons, who is this incredible character actor, plays the coach. He talks like this.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
He's perfect. Charlie Sheen, who I don't care. Okay, look, we know Charlie Sheen, Tiger Blood, all that crap.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner. I'm an F-16, bro. I'll lay you out with my ordnance and take off before the morning, or whatever he says. Like, that's Charlie Sheen now, or in the last 10 years. But Charlie Sheen, circa 1989, like Platoon Charlie Sheen. Yeah. This is an actor. This is a good actor.
Top notch, Charlie Sheen.
Top notch, and he plays Rick Wild Thing Vaughn, who in the oeuvre of sports movies is one of the most beloved and memorable characters of all time. He's got 102-mile-an-hour fastball, but he can't throw straight because he can't see. Tom Berenger, who at that point, Tom Berenger is like Dennis Quaid. He was like a leading man that was never really able to be a leading man.
Yeah,
but he's great.
Yeah, you nailed it.
He's great. And then the thing you never remember is, this is something I always forget.
Corbin Burnson,
who's like a TV actor. I never remember that 2 years before Major League, Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen were in Platoon, and Tom Berenger played Sergeant Barnes, that total fucking psycho, and Charlie Sheen had, you forget the dynamic they had.
Yeah, kind
and
of
then
the opposite.
Right, and then let's not forget, this is the movie essentially that introduced the world one way or
You
another
must be kidding,
to the
aren't
tax.
you?
Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
We got Bonnie Moore checking in over on the Cancer Research Institute page with a $100 donation. Thank you so much, Bonnie.
Thank you,
Bonnie.
My beloved sister-in-law. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh man, this is so awesome. This feels good. I was worried that nobody was going to do anything, and I'm very happy.
You guys are killing it. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much,
for the
everybody,
support.
for
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We love it. Honestly, we have a couple we have a little bit of time. I just want to say, anybody that ever listens to our show or came over here, or if you're going to check this out on YouTube later or donated or anything, we don't always say it on the show. We love you. We love you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
It's all done for love, and the fact that people listen blows my mind.
Right.
And we appreciate it. So
without you guys, there's no us guys.
There is nothing. There's no reason to edit a show. Which, if you've never edited a podcast, it sucks ass. All right. So yeah, Wesley Snipes gets introduced, and it's just a fantastic movie, right?
Is Wesley Snipes? He's just like a walk-on, right?
He's a walk-on. He's Willie Mays Hayes, and
Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, and he's gonna steal all the bases, and it's just it has you're actually concerned about like what's going to happen at the end of the movie. Like, are they going to win the big game? They obviously turn it around, as these things do. Dennis Haysbert, is a great actor. You might know him from 24 as the president. He plays what was his name? Pedro Serrano.
Yeah.
With his little Jobu idol. F you, Jobu.
Yeah.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And
who's the guy that plays the pitcher?
Chelsea Ross.
Yeah.
Where he I love the scene where he's explaining all the different pitches, and he gives Rick Vaughn the ball, and he's like, this thing is slimy. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, a Vaseline for my slider, and if I want, what is he? If I want to make it break, a little bit of jalapeno up the nose. He's like, you put snot on the ball, and he's like, hey, I'm not 22 years old like you, man. I got to do whatever I got to do.
That's right.
One of my favorite lines.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
The funniest thing about that movie, besides all the humor in it, watching that guy pitch.
Yes.
Well, he's that guy can barely throw a ball.
He's like 48 and not a good 48.
At least, yeah, probably over 50. But
he's probably your age, but not like listen, not Fountain of Youth version like you are. I was gonna give you a compliment.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, you beautiful bastard. You chiseled from stone.
Stop it.
No, but Major League, and then you got David Keith, the white one. I always forget. David Keith is the white guy. He's like the fearsome batter on the Yankees that Rick Vaughn's afraid to go up against. It's just a fantastic movie.
Yep.
I don't think anybody out there has not seen Major League. As a matter of fact, if you have never seen Major League, do us a favor and donate $10 to Livestream for the Cure right now, because I feel like you owe us that much. So
yeah, you owe. So how are the sequels? I mean, I've seen Major League. I've never seen the sequels.
Major League 2 is negligible because it has most of the same cast. Wesley Snipes had blown up by that point, so he said, I'm not coming back, like the douche that he probably is. Omar Epps takes over for him. Tom Berenger comes back. Charlie Sheen comes back. Charlie Sheen's character is now like a really marketed. He's almost like a Tom Brady,
where he's wearing a suit and tie and stuff.
He's lost his touch. He's lost his touch with like the grunge like kind of thing he had going on. Yeah, it's okay. And then the third sequel is straight to HBO garbage. It's nobody. I think 2 people might have come back for it. It's Scott Bakula is now like the player coach. So like they dug into Quantum Leap realm to dig him out, to give him a job. And the only notable thing I remember about it is that the big hitting star on the team was Walton Goggins, like 15 years before you knew who Walton Goggins was.
Okay.
Yeah. Walton Goggins, who's never blinked before in his life. he's just like this the whole time. Walton Goggins.
I never noticed about him, but yeah.
Walton Goggins is a fantastic actor. Boyd Crowder on the Fantastic Justified. But if you ever watch something with Walton Goggins, he's all eyeballs and teeth.
My favorite Walton Goggins was Son of Anarchy.
Oh, when he played the transgendered hooker. Yeah. The Tig had a thing for her. That was really weird because there's sometimes you see guys playing women, and you're like, hey, you know what? You might fool me. Walton Goggins is not an attractive woman.
In my opinion, no, he did not pull it off. No, but he pulled off the character just fine.
He looks like a totally frightened chicken or something.
Yeah.
He's just always, he's got this look, man. Hey, I'm Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
All right, so that's number 2. I think we might have talked about it and mentioned it. I think we might have the same number 1, so we might go in and double gangbang this one as well. But
I got a feeling we got double penetration here.
I think a little DP action is going to happen. Nick, you're with us, right?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
Nick, I have just a question. Maybe you could. Do you think you have any idea what our number 1 choice would be?
I know it's probably not anywhere close to what mine would be because nobody likes the same movies that I like. I'm gonna go super generic, and I'm gonna say Rocky.
Super generic, you say? Okay.
That would be like so many people's pick for a top sports movie.
Right. So for this next one, if this movie is your top number 1 movie, I want a $10 donation.
$10. If this movie hits,
if this matches yours,
please just throw an extra $10 or throw $10 if you haven't thrown anything, because we might surprise you, or we might be ultra generic. Lloyd, what is your number 1 of all time favorite sports movie?
All right. My number 1 favorite movie. I'm not going to say this is the number 1 best movie or even the best boxing movie, but favorite sports movie, 1976, Rocky.
Well, it's weird what you just said, though. If you're saying it's your favorite sports movie, but maybe but you're saying it might not be your favorite boxing movie?
That's right.
All right.
Just a movie doesn't have to be. I think there's a better boxing movie than this. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Okay, you're going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to just leapfrog in there with you, and we'll do it dirty. Rocky, and it's dirty. Yep. And I kind of see what Nick's saying. It is a generic answer. It's like saying, what's your favorite sci-fi movie? And you say Star Wars or something along those lines. But you know what? This is a movie that should never have happened, man. This is a movie written by written
by a young kid who had only done a little bit of acting. He was destitute. He had done some softcore porn.
Yeah. Sylvester Stallone did a little bit of
he was living basically like he was homeless. And he wrote this, and he got someone to buy it, and he got them to put him in the starring role, which is what he wanted.
Yep. And they didn't want him. They wanted Ryan O'Neal or the previously mentioned probably drunk Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
And they were willing to give him more money to buy him out and be able to hire Ryan O'Neal. But he said, look, give me less money. Do whatever you got to do. Let me be in this movie. And he wrote it. I remember reading at one point, he wrote it over like the course of like 20 days.
No, it was 3 days.
3 days. You're right. I'm sorry. It was a weekend.
Yeah.
It was a weekend. He writes this thing over a weekend, starts selling it out. And what was the MGM, United Artists, who is well known for the Bond movies in the 70s and 80s. And they folded, I think, recently. They buy it from him and they give him the chance and they say, make your movie. And they hire a director, John G. Avildsen, who, as we talked about in our episode, did the Karate Kid. He actually did the Karate Kid 1 through 3. So this guy kind of has, and he, I think he came back for Rocky, one of the Rockies as well. Could be wrong about that.
He did.
He did. So this is, it's right there. It's the ultimate underdog story.
Classic rags to riches, American dream, underdog, all that stuff wrapped into one.
Rocky Balboa is this basically 2-bit hoodlum who fights in the basements of churches, and he hangs out with his buddy Paulie, who, by the way, Burt Young as Paulie in Part 4 in 1986 was like 46 years old. If that doesn't blow your mind,
you're telling me he wasn't 46 in Rocky?
That's what I'm saying. Is because he just celebrated like his 85th birthday.
Yeah,
I did the math, and my head split in half. It absolutely split in half. So Burt Young is his friend.
It's like Wilford Brimley in The Thing. He was actually 27.
Wilford Brimley was Wilford Brimley. If you've never heard us talk about this before on our podcast, Wilford Brimley in The Thing. Now picture him. He's kind of gray, pudgy, blah blah. He was the same age that Tom Cruise was when they made the last Mission Impossible movie. Remember when Tom Cruise jumped across a building and broke his foot? Picture Wilford Brimley trying to jump across a building. He would have broken He would have broken his diabetes. He would have broken his. He would have landed in a sack of oatmeal.
I'm pretty sure he couldn't jump off his last step.
I don't think so either. So Rocky Balboa, Paulie's his friend. He starts to date Paulie's very bookish sister, Adrian, and then all of a sudden this kind of gimmicky fight comes up that he could fight the world champion.
Yeah.
Which this is all based on what Chuck Wepner, right? The story of Chuck Wepner, I think, the boxer who also had a chance to do this. I believe something like that happened. He was like the real life Rocky, supposedly.
Yeah.
And he gets a chance to fight the world champ, which this movie also introduces us to the fantastic Carl Weathers, who is still going strong today. The Mandalorian. It's all in the hips. If you remember that from Happy Gilmore, and in the end, I'm not spoiling this for anybody. Rocky doesn't win. Rocky does not win the fight at the end of the movie, but he wins in every other way possible. Holy cow. Just saying that, I feel like there's corn coming out of my ears because it's corny, but I don't care, because I'm telling you right now, if you've got a dry eye in that last scene, when after going the full distance with Apollo Creed, who never expected it, and his eyes are shut, you gotta cut me, Mick. Remember when he cuts him?
Oh yeah.
He cuts him. It just shot his blood out of his head.
Right out. Yep.
Who's doing this? This isn't sanitary. But Mickey says, got to cut you, man. Burgess Meredith, great actor.
Yep.
Cuts him. Rocky takes him to the limit. And what I love about this movie is in the background, you don't even hear the decision really, because Rocky's so concerned about seeing Adrian, right? He wants to see Adrian. In the background, you just hear your winner by decision, Apollo Creed. You see them lift Apollo's arm up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all happening in the background. It's really genius filmmaking. And what, this won Best Picture that year, right?
Yeah. It won. Actually, it won Best Picture, it won Best Director, and it won Best Film Editing. And it got nominated in so many other things: actor, actress, screenplay, supporting actor, best music, and best sound. So it got nominated for all those.
Joey from So Wizard occasionally will say something will make him want to run through a brick wall. If you hear the bum, bum, ba, na, ba, and you don't want to run through a brick wall, go to your local doctor and see if you're dead. You might be dead.
Yeah.
Because that music, great movies and music, Star Wars, John Williams, Jaws, John Williams, that Bill Conti theme, Gonna Fly Now. Seriously, I should not be doing cartwheels at my age or size. I want to do cartwheels when I hear that.
Yeah,
I want to
that
run through
made it
walls.
to number one.
Yeah.
Number one on Billboard Top 100.
Now, our age difference being what it is, you being 40 years older than me, did you see Rocky? Did you see Rocky in the movies? Did you see it in the theaters?
No, actually, I don't think I saw Rocky. Sometimes I have trouble remembering what I saw in the theaters and that.
Yeah.
I definitely saw Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 and Rocky 5. I'm not sure about Rocky 1 and 2, so I'm going to say no because I don't remember it.
All right, Nick, I'm curious, now that we've said ours, what would you say if you had to come right out top of your head, unpopular opinion or whatnot, what would you say is your favorite sports movie of all time?
So I made this list. I actually made this list when I was just doing prep for everything. I don't want to be that big. God, where's my camera? There it is. So I made do you want my 5? I could just rattle off my 5.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So I actually just changed this because I forgot it existed, which it doesn't bode well for it. But my number 5 would have been Ford v Ferrari, which just came out like a couple years ago. Number 4 would be Creed, so new Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's
number
great.
3
It
would
is
be
great.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
The Wrestler, the one with Mickey Rourke. I love that movie. Number 2 would be Caddyshack because it's Caddyshack.
See that guy there?
Yeah. I've
Never
seen
saw
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack.
Oh my God in heaven.
Yeah. I've got a couple blind spots. I consider myself a film guy, but every once in a while there's a blind spot, and for some reason I've never seen Caddyshack.
And
at my age, it's embarrassing.
My number 1 with a bullet, and it has to be The Waterboy. I love The Waterboy so much. Without remorse. I love it so much.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Mark Ellis checking in with a $10 donation. Thank you so much,
All right.
Mark
Thanks,
Ellis.
Mark Ellis.
Listen to So Wizard. I was listening to So Wizard today on my ride home from work. Love those guys. They're
I
fantastic.
was too, actually.
Matter of fact, So Wizard, Marcellus, maybe if you could add like $25 more after making me watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation for our show, that will make things fair again between us.
Marcellus,
And next
how
time
could
you come on, Marcellus, I'll be there. Just not if it's Mortal Kombat.
Oh my God, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, a movie that features no annihilation or Mortal Kombat.
It's supposed to annihilate your senses. That's the whole point.
That's
of
it. Yeah, and it did that within 20 minutes.
Oh, it was so bad, so bad. Joey really. It was actually Joey. So I hope Joey is starting to throw some monies this way.
All right, so I said something before about my favorite boxing movie and a better boxing movie. So Rocky's my favorite. You can throw that on. You can watch that anytime. But I think one of the best, if not arguably the best sports movie out there, is Raging Bull, 1980 by Scorsese, with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and Kathy Moriarty. Now, I don't know if you've seen Raging Bull or not.
I have honestly never seen it. It's another one in my blind spot. Yeah.
So it is just amazing. It tells the story of Jake LaMotta. I'm going to say lightweight. I'm not sure. I don't know the difference or if maybe he was different weight class. But at one point, he was a champion. And this guy, you talk about Tom Hardy, right? As being just a bull, straightforward. Jake LaMotta, that's what he did. This movie is so good. The relationship between him and his brother, him and his wife, and the people in there, he's so paranoid. Everything that everyone says, kind of gets in his brain and spins around, and he takes everything for face value, no matter if you're just like joking around. Like if his wife, kissed some older gentleman goodbye, he came to visit him and she kissed him goodbye. And then you have to watch 10 minutes of him berating her and, abusing her because she kissed this older gentleman.
No, this sounds like a really good time.
It's a great movie. It's a Scorsese movie. What
Right.
can I say? But it is so hard to watch just to see the mind, just sort of melting down of this guy who can actually probably kill you with a punch. That's why it's not on my list as favorite movies, but it is on my list as best movies.
Yeah, if I had to give like a quick honorable mention, Rocky 2, because Rocky 2 tells the story that we all wanted to see in Rocky 1. He wins, right?
He wins.
So, but it's not just that. It's a solid movie. There's a lot of, it plays off of what happens in Rocky, right? So like, there's a lot of that, like that kind of weird guilt on his part. Like, man, did I blow my life, man? I had that shot and I didn't do it. And then Apollo Creed on his end is like, man, that dude took me to the limit.
Yeah.
I suddenly don't feel comfortable anymore with the fact that I might be the greatest ever. And it has a great, exciting ending when, they both knock each other down and they're both trying to get up on the ropes and Apollo just at the end just drops and gives up.
Yeah.
And another one that's it's a little bit meaner. Like it's not as fun, but and I know there was a show. I never saw the show, but Friday Night Lights.
That was great. Yeah. More money.
So
More money,
the
more
one
money,
and
more
only
money.
Destruction in human form. Mr. Jared Taylor evens it out because he has to have even numbers on here. Just evened it out, $35.11 to $2,300.
Ooh.
$2,300.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jared, for the donation. Pint of Comics, you guys killed it.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely love it. So we've just got a few minutes here left in the segment. So please, before you guys jump out of here, let our audience know where they can find Pint of Comics and, anything that you guys might be up to in the future that they can look forward to.
All right.
All right. I'll take care of.
Let me just say what this week's episode is, and then you can. Okay, so this week's episode, which will be out probably Friday, is episode 189. So we're heading towards 200. We do a series called Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors with our friend Larry Dwyer, and it's our horror episodes. This week we will be talking about the 2001 Matthew McConaughey, Bill Paxton movie Frailty,
It's an
which is a
inanimate
fantastic
carving
movie.
rod.
So if you listen to the show and you got a day or two, I think it's on Amazon Prime or Hulu, one of those. Check it. Just go onto your thing and type in Frailty and.
Type it in. It'll come in somewhere.
It'll find it for you. It's 2021. But check it out if you have never seen it. We had a lot of fun doing that one, and it was our first recorded episode back at my house since COVID started. We all hugged before we started.
Amen.
It got a little sweaty, but it was wonderful. and it was very exciting. Yeah, Lloyd, tell everybody where they find us.
You can find us at pintocomics.com. Subscribe, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you like to get your podcast. You can subscribe there. We put out episodes every single week. I don't think we've missed a week in 4 years.
Nope.
We got a YouTube channel. Just search Pint of Comics. Facebook and Twitter, it's at Pint of Comics. And on Instagram, it's at Pint_O_comics.
That's it.
That's it. Oh, we got On the QT coming as well.
Yeah,
Let's
we have a new podcast.
An amazing, a huge thank you, and let's hear it in the chat, guys. Let's hear it in the chat for Pint of Comics. Absolutely smashed it up to $2,300. You guys just absolutely killed it. And are you guys cool to hang out for just a second while we get Drew back in here to drink more moonshine?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know he's floating around in there somewhere, waiting to click that button to join. But yeah, you guys absolutely killed it. $2,300, ladies and gentlemen. Every single cent that we raise here tonight and for the entire rest of the weekend through May 23rd, every single cent goes to the Cancer Research Institute to immunotherapy research and a future immune to cancer. Imagine a world where the body's immune system can fight cancer. That's what we're aiming for. That's what we're supporting. That's why we love the Cancer Research Institute. I think Drew must be AFK, so we're gonna have to wait on his moonshine. But John, Lloyd, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you for
having us
in style.
All right.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for what you're doing, man. This is incredible. 5 years, all that money. You're the best. Seriously.
Yes, this stuff affects all of us, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone, again, that donated. Just like I said, absolutely smashing it up to $2,300. You guys are legends. Thank you so much.
You got it.
It's over, Johnny. It's over! Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!